we're back with the biggest award, perhaps, of the Chicago Midwest Emmys, and that is the Citation of the Board of Governors, awarded to the Reverend Jesse Jackson. So congratulations to you. This is, in part, of course, civil rights icon, but also you've been in broadcasting yourself. What does this award mean for somebody who has a very, very full mantle, I'm sure?
Overwhelming joy. I'm really surprised. The civil rights movement, in the center of the media agenda, is a big deal. Human rights, of course, should be measured by 1 yardstick, and everybody should be a part of that struggle. So to have it properly interpreted is to make all of us better and never bitter.
Mm-hmm. Why did you decide that going on TV would help to spread your message, would help to further the work in civil rights?
More people can instantly get the message. As opposed to getting stale news. Life is happening in real time. So when people look at our quest for educational excellence, who the mediocrity and dropping out of school, that's the right thing to do, our nation has become too violent. The White House is the internal violence, not just the enemy from without, the enemy from within. Who would take on the government act of treason? Then they debate whether or not he should go to jail. I mean, if he doesn't go to jail, then they should turn jails into libraries and the museums. I mean, this is a terrible thing. And what happened on January the 6th will go down in infamy. It'll never be forgotten. You had
watch that day in horror.
Well, yeah, you had the first explosion in South Carolina in 1861, Civil War. This attempt to provoke, maybe somebody would get killed. Just so that people can riot and then have justification to shoot them down. So it makes you very cynical about government and very realistic about the lack of commitment to service.
And before we toss to Paris, and also to your son, congratulations. We have the new congressman here with us as well. Wanting to ask, in reading about you, this comes from a bit of a student government geek myself. You were twice served as president of student government, so really leadership from a young age. What is it within you that was so ready to take charge, to change the world?
Well, I was a quarterback in college, high school, college. That's a kind of take charge position, But also, I think I met some people along the way, South Carolina, who were really committed to change and the sense of justice. We had to go to the back of the library. We were arrested in the library, trying to use a downtown restaurant.
Arrested in the library for trying to use a library that was only for white people?
Public library, And we worked in the downtown store suddenly closed. We couldn't have an automobile dealership. All that stuff came up, like at Chicago, for example. America has been so right-wing. The civil rights movement has civilized it somewhat. We were born in the sin of genocide, killing Indians, and born in iniquity of racial segregation and slavery. And we were coming out of that period begrudgingly. Good news is that the women are now taking their rightful place in leadership. Blacks and Latinos are taking their rightful place in leadership. That's the America of our dreams. So Trump's talking about make America great again. This is the best we've ever been. Tonight, black, white, brown, Native Americans, Asian Americans here celebrating together. This is the best America's ever been.
The America of our dreams. I like that. Paris, passing it over to you.
All right, so we've got Congressman Jonathan Jackson, Congressman-elect Jonathan Jackson. First of all, I want to get your reaction to your father. I mean, you've seen him win all kinds of honors, but an Emmy. What's your reaction?
Overjoyed, excited, and especially it comes from the hometown. So to feel Chicago love and for the people that know him best, that have worked with him the longest, is a double honor and grateful.
And I have to ask you now, so you're Congressman-elect, you won your race in the 1st Congressional District on the south side, south suburbs. Have you gotten your orientation in Congress yet?
Sure, we've gone through 2 weeks and 1 more week to go up in Boston. There are 2 weeks in Washington, so I'm learning my way around the
Anything surprise you? That you're learning about this?
You grew up in a political family.
Yeah, absolutely. The partisan nature of what's going on there is like really shocking. Like Democrats over here, Republicans over there.
It's not just made for TV.
It's unbelievable. It's like a bad high school, where people are anti something and they haven't had the opportunity to talk and meet one another. Like lines are already drawn. So we're going to do our best to continue to break across those lines.
All right, so Democrats are going to be in the minority. What's your immediate priorities?
Oh, it has to start with gun violence and inflation. Every day you turn on the television, there's some gun violence, and it's ripping through every neighborhood. And what I'm excited about is in this freshman class of 74 people, there's a new energy. Now there is a generation of people that are the victims, that are the classmates of persons that have been the recipients of gun violence, and they're coming to D.C. to make a difference. So President Biden did something great a month ago in August, 2 months ago in August, and now there's going to be continued momentum. So I can see hope, and I see the light that there's going to be gun reform.
He's calling on an assault weapons ban right now. It might be tough with the Republican-controlled Congress, but every 2 years, that's why there are elections every 2 years. Reverend Jackson, I want to ask you, 40 years on from Harold Washington, what do you make of the current state of the mayor's race? You've got Mayor Lightfoot going for another term, and you've got Chuy Garcia, who's part of that Washington coalition. Are you getting behind anybody?
No, it's premature for me to get involved at that level. I have friends all over the place. We're free to run now. Under the Daley's oppressive regime, you had to be siphoned and vetted through a process that reduced you to being loyal more to the machine than to the people. So it's a new climate now, and people are running. Jonathan, we didn't grow up in a political family. It's not a human rights family.
Human rights family.
Not limited just to politics. If I had been Harold ran for mayor, I would run for Congress. It was not about that. These children of mine grew up in a household that valued human rights and willing to fight back with courage.
What do you believe the mayor's office could accomplish, and is there anybody that you believe could best do so this next race?
The mayor has survived the first term without corruption.
Achievement in Chicago.
Yeah, it's an achievement in Chicago. She's not been corrupt. She faced a pandemic of COVID, and the city council that has been mixed in its reaction to her. So I think that she will be a strong contender. I think she's able for competition now with Wilson and Brandon are real challenges to her. But let's see how it goes out.
You know, Congressman-elect, I would like to ask you your thoughts on, your dad said that America now is better than it's ever been. Do you agree with that sentiment? There's such division, as is, of course, on display in the Beltway.
And you've seen some of that anti-Semitism come up now, and some of the white supremacy kind of be normalized in some circles.
Well, I think those unfortunate things that are happening are being met with massive resistance. People are fighting back. They're being very vocal, from athletes and entertainers and people in the political realm and people that are corporate, that are showing social responsibility and shutting it down. So that's the fact. And the other part, I absolutely agree. America is better. It's been a work in progress. And I think we're right now just experiencing continued growth pains that America is growing. I'm 56. When I was born, the nation had almost, the population of the nation almost doubled. Well, I guess 330 million people. It's more diverse, and to see the Democratic caucus is like super exciting. We got Native Americans, we got people from the Pacific Islands, we've got first generation, we got immigrants, we got what I call the dreamers and the believers, African Americans, and Mr. Hakeem Jeffries assuming leadership.
The new Democratic leader in the House, Hakeem Jeffries.
Love Brother Hakeem, love Catherine Clark, love Mr. Aguero. I mean, they're like doing fantastic things. And Mrs. Pelosi paved the way. Mrs. Maxine Waters encouraged Hakeem to run, and it's the fulfillment of things. And Speaker Clyburn.
I was just going to say, how about Clyburn in South Carolina?
You know, I was talking to Mr. Clyburn the other day, and he told me, he says, now I'm dealing with the third generation Jackson. He says he'll never forget when he was running for Secretary of State. He was down in the Low Country in South Carolina, and Grandma came over there to support him. He couldn't believe it. And so that's many decades ago when he was running for Secretary of State. He's worked with you, he's worked with me. And so he's a wealth of information. He's going to maintain a leadership position. And I'm excited and honored to be there. I wish so much that both of my grandparents could be there. And I want to say a very special thank you to you all and my father. My father's made America better. So when he says that this is the best it's ever been, he's a change agent a trailblazer that has made it better. And for that, I'm honored that the Emmys has taken the time to thank him and congratulate him.
And the Reverend, I know you wanted to jump in there.
There's a difference between trailblazers and pathfinders. I'm honored tonight that the media sees me now as a whole person, as a leader, not just isolate me on one side of town. Trailblazers, they go where no one's ever been. You push back brushes.
Clear the path for people behind them.
Yeah, you go through bushes and briars and you
Get some cuts
You
along the
get
way.
cut up. Sometimes the cuts bleed so much they become keloid. They never heal. People never forgive you, never appreciate you for what you really are and can be. So tonight I see pathfinders running for president, running for every office in the country now. Attorney General in Las Vegas, Nevada. The governor of Maryland. We're on our way.
What do you feel like, looking back, again, yet another award, another achievement, what is the great accomplishment of your life?
Been to survive physically. We've been under threats so long, so many threats, death threats, real death threats. Health-wise, it's a real challenge. We've worked so hard across the years. I think the real accomplishment politically is bringing Americans back home from foreign jails. Cuba, Yugoslavia, Iraq, bringing Americans back home has been a real gratifying feeling.
Congratulations.
And voter registration. We were on the Southern Crusade in '83 when Harry was running, and you had to vote twice in Mississippi, vote once, and vote county and city. Now, of course, in Texas, we have to a congressional district split up in 4 parts. No blacks ever been a congressperson there. If that fails, you're a man, about 5 more blacks in Congress there, and can't pull those to keep a job. So we're still fighting on cleaning up it up. I also think that we should now fight for every American to be registered to vote automatically. The census should determine who votes where. I mean, not the millions of Latinos in Texas unregistered, they'll never register to vote. Language problems, fear of deportation, all kinds of stuff, harassment. So we're fighting for democracy in Ukraine. It's tried at home as well.
So much left to do. And I know, of course, the Rainbow Push Coalition still at it.
Well, we're still fighting hate. Anti-Semitism is on the rise, anti-Asian bashing, anti-black. Children are being taught that stuff by parents and by the media. We must learn to live together, brothers and sisters, not die apart as fools. We have a big choice to make there. So America is about freedom versus containment. Lincoln said freedom, one America, more perfect union. Jeff Davis said slavery, segregation, secession, sedition, right, male supremacy. Republicans, when I grew up, the South Democrats, Wallace was Democrat, all the Southern bigots were Democrats. When Goldwater came on, running against Lyndon Johnson, he brought the South into the Republican Party. And so Southern Republicans, like Dr. King's father, they became Democrats. So the parties really switched parties based upon race. And it just should not be. We must be more civil in that 2023.
Almost 2023. We're getting there, huh?
Getting real fast.
All right.
Well, thank you so very much, and congratulations
History in
again,
the making.
Reverend Jesse Jackson, and thank you so much,
Congressman Jonathan Jackson, to future conversations, I hope, on Chicago tonight and on
We'll get you
policy
some
and
water in
everything.
just a moment. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. We'll be right back after this. Thanks a lot.